Hey guys, Adam here. So this is the Galaxy A50, and this is my full review. So, let's get started. So, let's first talk about when this was released. This was released in 2019, and so, as you can see from the design, it actually does look very, very modern, and obviously from 2019. And, yeah, it looks really great. Three main things that I really like about this device. So let's talk about those three things. First is the design, second is the specs, and third is the camera. So let's first talk about the design. The design is really, really modern, like I said before, and it looks really great. So we have a 6.4 Super AMOLED display, and what I like about this is that the display actually gets pretty bright. And so the design is also really great, and you can see there's this like kind of rainbowish color, and it looks really great. So you could see on the back it does kind of look like glass, but it is actually plastic. And then on the front, of course, we got glass, and so I was trying to unlock it, but couldn't. Yeah, you could see on the bottom we have USB-C, a headphone jack, which is what a lot of phones don't have anymore, and the speaker grill. And so around the phone you can see there's a little bit of bezel at the bottom and almost no bezel at the top except for this water drop notch. So holding this in the hand feels really great, just because big phones are actually kind of the norm now, and it's just because, you know, we have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and we have the iPhone 11, and we have the OnePlus 7 Pro. You know, all of those are in, 6.5, 6.6, all those kind of big phones. So, like, this is a 6.4 inch phone, and so it's pretty good size, and it feels pretty good in the hand, and, yeah. Oh, so by the way, the screen is a 1080p screen. I completely forgot to tell you that. Anyway, let's go on to the specs. So, I'm not going to really remember all the specs because there's a lot of specs. So, we have 4 or 6 gigabytes of RAM, and so that's actually pretty good. For example, my OnePlus 7 Pro has 8 gigabytes of RAM, so this is pretty close to that. And so it's a pretty, that's a pretty good amount. We also have the Exynos 9610. One thing that we have is a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is a lot. This also comes with either 64 or 128 gigabytes of storage, and it has UFS 2.1 storage, which isn't too bad. The OnePlus 7 Pro has 3.0. which is much better, but it's still not that bad. With that 4,000 milliamp hour battery, you also get 15 watt fast charging, which is actually a pretty flagship standard thing now, so that's pretty good. Oh, and also, here's the Antutu score. You can see it's 144,574. That's actually really good. Comparing to an iPhone SE, the iPhone SE, you can expect around 100,000, and for the iPhone 6, it's about the same thing. So this is about as fast as about an iPhone 7, or maybe even an iPhone 8. Now, another thing I like is the camera, and even though I did a full camera review, I'm going to talk about a little bit more of it. We got a 25 megapixel main camera, a 16 megapixel an 8 megapixel telephoto camera, and a 16 megapixel ultra wide camera, which is actually a pretty good setup. And on the front, we got a 25 megapixel selfie camera. So I'm gonna take like a couple of test photos, because some photos that I did yesterday was kind of low light, so now we're gonna do in some brighter light conditions. Oh, and one more thing, I accidentally said telephoto camera. I actually meant depth sensing camera, and it's a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. And the ultra wide camera is 8 megapixels, so sorry about that. So let's talk about the cameras. that I was talking about. So this is some photo samples, and you could see it's extremely good photo, actually. Like, better than the average flagship phone. This is really good. Like, seriously, combining the depth sensing and all these cameras make it look really good, because this is a 25 megapixel camera. And you can see, going in, it's amazing. Another photo that I really liked was this photo, and you could see the water droplets are super clear, and it just looks like an overall really good photo. Here's just a photo of the environment, and it actually does look pretty good. It's not as good as other flagships in this part, like when you're taking a photo of like a big environment, but like it's still pretty good, and there's still definitely a lot of detail to wide camera. And even though it's not as sharp, it still looks really cool, and it's actually a lot of fun because it's 123-degree field of view. And so here's another one, and you could see it looks really great. So here's the front-facing camera. You can see there's a lot of detail, even though, you know, in low light it wasn't that good, but in lots of light it looks really great. There's also a like kind of ultra wide selfie that you can do, so you get more in your picture. So now let's do a video test on the main camera. This is video on the main camera. It's recording at 1080p at 30 fps. So you can see that looks really sharp. So now here's ultra wide. This is an ultra wide camera video test that can record 1080p at 30 fps. Here's the front facing camera. This is the main selfie camera that can record at 1080p at 30 fps. So you can see those photos are just so clear and crisp. They're just really great. Even the selfie camera isn't too bad in some conditions. And so that's what this is like amazing phone. Yeah, I know there is the Galaxy A51, but if you want to save a little bit of money, I would really recommend the Galaxy A50. Now we are going to be doing a couple more tests. We're going to first be doing, a, music test. So, or like, you know, how good the speaker is. So, yeah, let's see how it is. So it sounds pretty good. It's pretty loud. And you could see, even though it's one speaker and you can cover it up easily, it's like really not that bad for like how much you're paying for it. Now let's try something like Clash Royale. Now this is just an instant app, so I just show you example. I haven't really downloaded any apps on here, so we're just doing a test. And not the only problem that I don't like about this, I'm just gonna turn down the volume because it's actually really loud. Is that like not all of the games are supported with this water drop notch, which kind of sucks. You can see gameplays at a full 60 FPS with that 4/6 gigabytes of RAM. You're gonna have no problem with this phone. Now, something that I haven't really done on this channel before is a multitasking test. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be like loading some maps, and then I'm going to see if it's still in memory, basically. Like a memory kind of test, I meant. So let's get started with a simple app like Gallery. Oh, also, yeah, all the apps are closed, so you can see that loaded instantly. Calendar, opened instantly. Play Store, opened almost instantly. Google, opened a little bit of time, but Chrome, opened instantly. Let's try Camera, opened instantly. Internet, well, the other internet. Messages, and Phone. So now let's see if it all was kept in it. So yeah, let's try Phone first. It's kept in memory. Messages, kept in memory. Internet, kept in memory. Camera. Oh, how to reload a little bit there. Google, fully loaded. Play Store, fully loaded. And where's the last one? Gallery, fully loaded. So you could see all the apps, almost all the apps, were kept in memory, which is actually really good. By the way, this has Android 9 Pie. Now, if you wanted to have Android 10, then I would recommend the Galaxy A51. Anyway, should you buy this phone in 2020? Absolutely, yes. If you want a flagship type phone and you don't want to spend the extra money, well then you should definitely get this phone. Now, there is one step up if you want to get a phone similar to this, and for a little bit more. It's the Galaxy A51 with a little bit better specs, and so I would kind of recommend that phone as well, just because it has an O punch notch basically, and it has less bezel. But the thing about this one is that you get more. You just get like you get it for less of a price, maybe even $100 less. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because I think I have a video for you guys that will come up that'll be pretty exciting and pretty fun. The video that I'm thinking of is I'm thinking of going to Fry's and buying one of the cheapest tablets there. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.